It is oh so chilly once again. It is Tuesday morning, March the 21st. My God. It is March the 21st. Stella, what are you doing in the corner? Stella, what are you doing? I let you in here for 2 seconds and you throw up in my office again. Well, I'm not going to make you wait for me to go clean up the puke. She's in here for 2 seconds. I hope you're having a better start to the day than that. Like, come on, dog. She's getting older, so I feel badly yelling at her. Okay, well, that's coffee talk on a Tuesday morning. That's how we're going to start it. Cool beans. We have weather to talk about, too. I'm going to just pretend that vomit didn't just happen. Good morning, friends. It is chilly once again out the door this morning. Top two things we're watching. One last time, the Jackets will be starting to go in deeper and deeper into the closet after today. We'll chat about the trends as beach weather returns to Central Florida. Yeah. Taylor says, I'm assuming I walked in on the dog yakking. You know what's funny is usually I don't let her in the office during coffee talk because she's very needy. And so I see her in the corner and I'm like, oh no. Oh no. Oh well. Anyway, it is at some spots a little cloudy. Here's a live look at our Tower Cam network. This is our new Smyrna Beach Tower Cam. It's gray here, but what's so interesting is there are other spots, most other spots around Central Florida that are gorgeous. Like for me, there's no cloud in the sky. It is absolutely, and now she walks out. She's like, I came, I barfed, I left. Thanks. All right. Well, at least it's a beautiful start to the day in most of Central Florida. If we look outside on the infrared satellite imagery here, give me 2 seconds. You know what? I'll do it this way. I'll load it up. If we look at the infrared satellite imagery, you can see there's plenty of clouds kind of working in from the Atlantic, and there have even been a few showers. We'll get to the showers in a second, but you can see that deck of clouds there as it's trying to go and buffer it. All right, we get that it's clouds. Let's take a look. First morning, live Doppler radar. Zooming on in, Volusia County, talking to you, my friends. A couple of little showers coming in along those clouds. Nothing strong or severe, but a little bit of rainfall working in over Port Orange. There's the Ponce Inlet and the shores. And then down around New Smyrna Beach or points just south of there, may see a little bit of shower activity. So not too bad. Not too bad. Taylor says, we always love a Stella appearance. Not today. Not today. Rosebud, good morning. David, good morning to you, my friend. It is gorgeous outside. Yeah, temperatures in some spots a little warmer than they were this time yesterday. It's 39, though, in Ocala again, so we did get into the upper 30s. The winds went just calm enough for that. We're at 51 in Orlando, 50 degrees in New Smyrna Beach. What a beautiful day. Do have a few sprinkles in the forecast. You can see here a lot of sunshine, and that's going to allow the temperatures to rebound wonderfully. 74 by 1 o'clock, 78 degrees by 3 o'clock this afternoon, so not too bad. Rosebud says it feels warmer this morning. Let's check at the 24-hour temperature change. This is like the clearest way to see it, and it just depends. Now, I don't know that I believe that 18 degrees warmer in Palm Coast. I think that the weather sensor was just not reporting yesterday. So omit that for a moment, but notice 1, 2, 3 degrees, 4 degrees warmer. That's believable. That's believable. So that's where we're at. And this afternoon, the temperatures are going to be notably warmer. Okay, we're up to 78 in Orlando, 75 in Sanford, 73 degrees in Titusville. So it's gorgeous. I mean, it's a beautiful day. Yesterday, chilly, right? But today we are actually going to be working our way into spring temperatures. Average high has climbed to 80. We'll do 78 today in Orlando, 75 in Sanford, about 75 degrees in Melbourne. So it looks pretty good. Yeah. North Lake needs rain, Beverly says. Oh, we all need rainfall. we absolutely are all in the need of rainfall. As a matter of fact, as far as like technical definitions go for Central Florida, we're all in a drought. We're all in a moderate drought. I believe the new drought monitor numbers do come out today, but we're all in a drought. We could use some rainfall. And when we look at the rainfall data for the year, like all of Central Florida is now 3-4 approaching in Leesburg, speaking of Northern Lake, approaching 5 inches behind where we typically are this time of year. So that's just for the year. That's not last year, you know. So like we did end last year with a surplus thanks to, you know, hurricanes, but I just thought it was kind of interesting. So for what it's worth. All right, Becca says, feeling determined to lose my weight. This week's goal is lose another 5 pounds. Doesn't matter how fast you lose it. It just matters if you can keep it off. So I don't care how fast you lose it. Just do what you got to do to sustain. But congratulations to you and good work. Taylor says, windows are still open this morning. I know we are cooler in Daytona, so taking advantage of the last break for the AC and electric bill. I get that. You talk about that, you're not wrong. The temperatures are on their way up. Let's take a look at the kind of overall weather perspective. Today, milder temperatures. Notice, though, milder turns to warmer, right? Like, there's only so many days you could say that it's going to be milder. And then, frankly, by the end of the week, it's not warmer. It's just hot. Yeah, temperatures are climbing. So be ready for that, my friends. Right? Today, in terms of rain chances, no surprise. Oh, that's the wrong graphic. Today, in terms of rain chances, no surprise. It's going to be our East Coast spots. It's weird that that view is a little off. Hold on, my obsessive compulsive disorder is going to drive me crazy. I have to make it the shifted view so that Palm Coast shows up. That way nobody's like, oh, why you should not show in Palm Coast. These are the things that your friendly neighborhood weather guy has to do. And I'm not like complaining. I'm just telling you, like, if you ever say to yourself, why don't you show my city? Believe me, we do everything we can to show every city. But, like, when it's wide view like that, you can't show every city because then it would just be a block of text and you wouldn't see any data. But we try to at least show every city on the map. So, yeah. So there's the rain chances for today. The further east you live, the better the opportunity to see showers. And it's a relatively low-end coverage, so it's not a bad deal. Eddie Rodas, my buddy. We just don't know. Good morning to you. Mickey says, so, coffee talk from Houston in a couple of weeks? Yes. Can I nerd out about that? Yes. So I found out Friday, but I needed to make sure that all the powers that be at the station are good with it. So, yeah. Coffee talk from Houston in a couple of weeks. So here's the thing, okay? NASA does these things called NASA Social. And anyone can attend, and they pick like a variety of people from careers to, you know, whatever it is. The idea is to get people access, okay? So I encourage everybody to jump on board with this. And I, you know, when I'm out covering the rocket launches, I'll always see people out at the rocket launches that are doing NASA socials. I had a great opportunity at the Crew 6. The Crew 6 one was a very cool opportunity. I got to meet Mr. Scott Campbell, super nice guy. He was out there for the NASA social, and he like took a picture of us in the weather lab and was like, "Hello, Mr. Eric," and it's like, "Oh, Scott, come by and say hello." Anyway, so I cover the rocket launches here at the Kennedy Space Center, and it's amazing. It's like the greatest joy I get at work. It's the nerd haven. Anyway. On March 10th, they posted that come April 3rd and 4th, they're making the Artemis II crew announcement. And so they're going to hold a NASA social in Houston. And you'll get a chance to meet, as I understand it, so this is, I'm just going to read to you what they wrote, okay? Social media users are invited to register for the chance to take part in our global NASA social for the Artemis II astronaut naming announcement. The social event will take place April 3rd and 4th, the announcement taking place at 11 a.m. Naming the Artemis 2 astronauts who will orbit the moon and return to Earth aboard Orion will be a crucial step. So, social participants will have the opportunity to meet the Artemis 2 astronauts, tour NASA facilities, meet fellow space enthusiasts, and meet and interact with Artemis subject matter experts. Meet the Artemis 2 astronauts. So, I was like, oh man, I joked, like, talk me out of this, talk me out of this, talk me out of this. I applied. I got picked. So then I had to sell the boss on it. Sold the boss on it. So now we're going to Houston. Yeah, so I'm going to be taking you with me. I don't know the schedule of events yet. So, like, in the event that they need me there during Coffee Talk, we will do Coffee Talk early or something. I don't know. We'll figure that part out. But, yeah. Going to Houston. Meeting the Artemis 2 astronauts. Like, in a couple of years, next year, the end of next year, when I'm at the Kennedy Space Center talking about the Artemis 2 astronauts going on top of the SLS, I will have met them. Okay? Nerd moment for a second. Oh my God. I cannot believe this is real life. Chris is asking if you can be my +1. They were very specific in the email. I do not get a +1. So no photographer from the station even. I'm going to be like filming video with my cell phone. Oh man. But that is going to be super, super, super exciting. And I can promise you all, I will be taking you all with me. I will be posting to Facebook and Twitter and all of that stuff. Do I dress up like astronauts? I mean, if they let me. If they let me. Taylor says, like a kid in a candy shop. Oh my God. I'm just so excited. Taylor says, shouldn't have been a hard sell to the boss. It wasn't. But I did, it's funny. I applied before. I am of the mindset of, I'm not always of the mindset of better to ask for forgiveness than for permission. But like, I registered for this. I'm like, well, if I get picked, then I need to ask for permission. I got picked, so I had to ask for permission. So it's all good. It's all good. Eduardo, they're taking you to the moon also. Then, yeah, well, that would be something. Jennifer says, you definitely should be a space camp kid. I never went to space camp. Oh, well. Destiny says, put us in your pocket. We'll be real quiet. Well, I can definitely tell you, I will take you all with me. We're going to be tweeting and Facebooking and Facebook Living and all of that fun stuff. Seriously, I'm going to be doing my best to take you along and show you what it is. Because think about it. We launched the rockets here, but mission control is in Houston. Like, remember Apollo 13, Houston, we have a problem. That room. So, yeah. I'm not excited at all. Meet astronauts. I know, Debbie, right? Like, no big deal. Kind of a big deal. And also, these are going to be the astronauts, the first astronauts to venture outside of low Earth orbit. In how many years? Since the 70s? 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. This many decades? Yeah. So I'll be doing everything social that I can. And since it's a quote unquote NASA social event, theoretically, I'll be able to do a lot of it. And what's kind of neat too, if I'm hoping that I'll have the opportunity to interview the astronauts, because with that, when I go to cover Artemis 2, I will have sat down and talked to astronauts. Maybe I can get them on Coffee Talk. Wouldn't that be ridiculous? We'll see. Listen. We'll see. Sidebar. So I tweeted yesterday, and this is just one of those very. And then enough about me. Truly. I wanted to share my nerddom with you, but enough about me. I do want to show you though. So I tweeted this, and that was fun, and that was cool. I got to find the tweet now. So I tweeted yesterday, and I was like, I'm really glad nobody talked me out of this. And then NASA's Twitter account responded to me and said, we're glad nobody talked you out of this. And I was like, NASA just tweeted me? Okay. So anyway, enough about me. Very cool stuff. I will be taking you along with me. I'm trying not to be a super nerd here, but that's a nerdy thing. So I will definitely. Debbie says dress nice. Oh, I'll dress nice. I'll show that I'm space appropriate should they want to bring a super nerd TV weather guy up. So there's that. Yeah, NASA responded, Laura. Exactly. I saw that tweet pop up on my phone and I was like, did that just happen? Whew. Amanda, I love your excitement. I mean, it's ridiculously cool. And I'm just going to try and bring all of y'all along with me for every little bit of it. Chris Pierce, I hope you're turning that NASA reply into a coffee cup. I didn't think about that. I was like, should I put it up on the wall? I was like, I could put it up on the wall. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. Something nerdy. Anyway, all right, enough about that. I'll take y'all with me. I did see in a Twitter thread somebody wrote, there was a lot of really cool things from a lot of people that have done the NASA socials. And I do encourage all of y'all, you're all on social media. They do a ton of NASA socials that give you some unbelievably cool access to rocket launches. And for the big ones particularly, we roll the Weather Lab. So go do the NASA social and come say hi to us at the press mount in the Weather Lab. All right. Enough of that. With temperatures climbing, the water parks are opening up today. Blizzard Beach has been open for a while. Now they're kind of pausing that and moving over to Typhoon Lagoon, which I don't understand why, but they're doing it. So at any rate, Typhoon Lagoon opening up again today. It's going to be a little cool in the morning, but by the afternoon it looks to be pretty good. Maggie says, glad you're experiencing this and sharing it with us. Thank you. It is too late to apply to this one, Chris, but follow at NASA Social on Twitter. They're always posting, and especially around the rocket line, they're doing them all the time here at the Kennedy Space Center. This one, I only applied to this one because I'm like, well, when am I going to ever go to the Johnson Space Center? And I was like, maybe I'll get a... I told them I was, a TV person doing TV weather and space coverage. And I did that because this is not a media event. This is a social event. They want people from all walks of life. They picked me, and I'm super grateful for it. But it wasn't because there's a WESH 2 associated, because it's open to anyone. So I would also say to all of you, apply to these NASA socials. You get to see some really cool stuff. Yeah. Becca says we're going to KSC for the twins' birthday next. And they love science. Oh, very cool. It's so cool. Speaking of which, we do have a rocket launch. It's not NASA related necessarily. But tomorrow night, Relativity is trying to go for their Terran 1 Good Luck, Have Fun mission again. It's a little late for me, but I actually think I'm going to try and stay up for it. 90% chance of good weather. Hopefully things will be good. Chris says, of course, the danger is Eric will fall in love with Texas and not come back. My whole family's here, Chris, so I don't see that happening. I grew up in Florida. I love Florida. Yeah. Annie says, wait till you get a good picture with them, then use the tweet. Yeah, maybe like a picture of me with the Artemis astronauts and then like the tweet on top or something. Something like that. My niece's fiance has been working on it, so we'll definitely be drinking coffee to watch it. Yeah, for the Terran 1, very fun stuff. It's just neat. What a generation. Like the folks before us had Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, Shuttle. We've got now Falcon 9, Starship. We've got, the ULA with Starliner on top. We've got... all, Astra, we've got Relativity, we've got Firefly, all of these small, it's just so much. Just a lot of really cool stuff, so, yeah. Jennifer's asking a question. Did the 3D rocket launch yet? No, that's this Wednesday. Audra says, I'm too. I want to watch this one. We'll have my DSLR ready. We'll have a party. We'll watch together. Does that sound good? Yeah. Keith says, head down to Boca Chica. So, fun fact, when I saw Scott Heidler at the Kennedy Space Center for the Crew 6 launch, he's like, and I hope the boss isn't watching right now because this is going to ruin my plan. If the boss is watching, I need you to stop. I'll give you a couple I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Boss, if you're watching, disconnect for like a minute. I'm going to sip and then I'll... Okay, this is not safe for work, boss. When I saw Scott Heidler, he's like, so Burris, we need to figure out a way to get the bosses to send us to Boca Chica for the orbital Starship launch. And I'm like, yes, sir, we do. And so we spent like 10 minutes like, how can we make this happen? And we talked, and I was like, at the very least, Scott has to go. Like, he's our Brevard County bureau chief. He does all the launch stuff. So at the very least, he needs to go. But I kind of do too. So we're gonna try. Okay. Rosebud said your boss just turned up the volume. We'll see. We'll see if I get called into the boss's office when I get to work. At any rate, it's all for the betterment of the television station. But we were definitely like, how can we try and make this request? I don't know that they'll go for it, but we gotta try. We gotta try. But it was just so funny. And so Heidler said it, and then his photographer came down from the NBC bureau at the Kennedy Space Center. He's like, hey, you talking to Eric about our idea? And it's just like, oh, y'all have been thinking about this. Like, it was a whole thing. It was very funny. Oh, man. Too funny. Laura, that's right. You don't know until you try. Every answer to a question you don't ask is no. So, yeah, that's it, Becca. Chris says Houston to Boca Chica is a long drive. No, we would fly into like Corpus or Brownsville for that. But, hey, look, you got to try. Truth be told, that would be so cool to see. So anyway, Athena says, I saw a funny quote. You know it's going to be a hot summer when Mother Nature seasons you with pollen and then puts you back in the fridge to marinate. That's funny. So we've got the pollen. We know that we've gotten a little bit of the refrigeration happening. But what about the rest of the forecast? Where do we go from here? Let's take a look, okay? I've been running my mouth about nerd stuff. We haven't chatted about our local stuff. Yeah. So let's take a look, shall we? Today, 78. A little closer to average. Tomorrow, 84. Okay, we're dialing it up. 85 on Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's not like summertime where you're in like 95 degree heat. But I know that my kids are going to be in the pool these next couple of days. 89, 90. I like it. I like it very much. Jennifer says, I'm new to Florida. You are a rock star. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. Wait till hurricane season when the weather gets crazy. We're going to be talking a lot, you and I, Jennifer. If you're new to Florida, we're going to be hanging out. Just know, I always say this, but since you're new, I'll tell you. It's one thing to earn your trust. It's another to keep it. And I'm going to always work to keep it. Today's like light and fluffy. And, this is the light and fluffy season. But I will, when the weather gets feisty, we'll be together. Okay? Promise you that. Susie says, love the nerd stuff. Thank y'all. Chris says, I grew up in Corpus. Yeah. All right. So flying. So if the boss approves it, we'll do that. Eduardo, question about the Falcon 9. What happens to Stage 2? Stage 1 lands and is reused. Fairings are reused, and Stage 2 is lost in space. It crashes into the atmosphere in the ocean. Yeah, so let me pull up a graphic, and this is a graphic from Crew 6, so like the data itself doesn't really apply. So that's the Falcon 9, right? So Eduardo's asking about the second stage. So there's your first stage. That's the part right there that lands on the drone ship. That's the Crew Dragon, and that's the service trunk. That's the second stage right there. So yeah, what it ends up doing is once the first stage breaks off, the second stage gets so high up that it does. It ends up burning in the atmosphere, and what's left of it, a debris area, essentially gets scattered into the ocean near Australia, of all places. Yeah, big chunk. And there's folks that publish the debris locations essentially for it, but yeah, it's way out there, way out there. Out near Australia is usually when the second stage debris area, and it's just fragments. It's not much. Yeah. So, but that's yeah. Beverly says, love nerddom. I do too. Listen, y'all, I'm just so grateful to have found you and be able to all of us nerd out together. I really appreciate your willingness to listen to me talk nerdy. Jen says, hold that thought, Mr. Burris. Quiet hurricane season, please. Well, you know we've got our hurricane season forecast is already out. Did you know that? Here's our numbers we went with. If you're interested in seeing more about this, wesh.com/hurricane forecast. That is our forecast. Rosebud says, tell your boss we approved it. I need to get with Heidler to figure out when we're going to make that pitch. I guess we make that pitch when it's announced that there is going to actually be an orbital test. Yeah. Yep. Oh, man. Robert says, I'm back, was missing in action, had a heart attack, and placed stents in. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Robert, glad to have you and healthy. My gosh. Take it easy, bud. I know why you had a heart attack. You're a Mets fan, Robert. That's a tough world at times. No, in all seriousness, though, bud, glad to have you back. That's scary to see that you had a heart attack. Take it easy, okay? Just take it easy. I always tell Manolfi being a Mets fan is going to take its toll on him. It's nice to have a few moments to nerd out. It's good for the soul. I agree. It's like a good cry. We need it every now and then, right? Yeah. Jamie says, whoa, 90s by the weekend. Seriously. And Saturday does have some rain. There's like a weak little front that's going to try and approach us, but it's not going to do a whole lot. Yeah. Susie says, thank you for always making my morning. The day isn't complete until I listen to Coffee Talk. Susie, thank you. Listen, I'm not going to take credit for it. We just talk nerdy. It's the coffee that makes the morning. Sue, thank you very much. Jan says, I know I'm in hurricane denial. I know, me too. Me too. Yeah. Taylor's asking for Chris, the April calendar. So yesterday I did a lot of catching up because I was off of work a week. I plan on doing the April calendar today. Okay, yeah. Chris, can you change those 90s to 89.9 just so that it doesn't feel so hot? I understand. Yeah, we'll work on that. When is the Artemis 2 announcement looking? So Bill Nelson tweeted it, the NASA administrator, who we had on live on WESH 2 News for Artemis 1. So it'll be neat to be with him for the crew announcement for Artemis 2. Yeah. It's April 3rd is the announcement. Now you need to convince, the bosses to let you do a cruise for Coffee Talk Cruise. I just want to do a cruise anyway. I can take it. Anyway, I want a cruise. I Gewalt. Anything. Jennifer says, should I take my chances and schedule another cruise for late September? Listen, you do you. It's always a risk, but at the end of the day, a cruise is beautiful, and that's what I would do. You know what we did today? And then I'll let you go. You know what we did today as parents? I signed my son up for pre-K graduation. Now, I know that times have changed. But I didn't go to pre-K. I was a babysitter growing up, and then I went right to kindergarten. And just to think of how advanced my son is because he went to pre-K is a big deal. But now we're doing pre-K graduation, and I feel like it was a minute ago that we were in the NICU with him, which is not all that far off because his birthday is Saturday. His 5th birthday is Saturday. But anyways, we signed the guy up for pre-K graduation. My son is going into kindergarten next year. What? I'm getting old. God. That's crazy. And I've already gotten him completely brainwashed in Star Wars. All he wanted for his birthday, not just a lightsaber, he wanted an Inquisitor lightsaber. And if you're a nerd, you know what the Inquisitors do, which tells you a little something about my son. But it came yesterday. I'm looking at said Inquisitor lightsaber. Don't anybody tell my son, okay? He's getting his Inquisitor lightsaber. Oh, boy. Craziness, getting older. All right, I'm going to go and do a little bit of work. And I will see you today on WESH 2 News at noon and at 4. And we'll do the 3:30. We'll do the 3:30 coffee talk. Sound good? Check in with each other. And Chris, I'm going to try and have the April calendar done by 3:30. That's my goal today, okay? All right, everybody. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I will see you all noon and 4 on TV, 3:30 for another Coffee Talk, and all that fun stuff. All right? All right, be good, y'all.